So as they complete setup for the next game, I'd like to read $105.02 donation from Steven Jazuski. Shout outs to the 502 crew. Love you guys. I'd like to remind everybody of the prize incentives for the Banjo Kazooie run. For a minimum of $5, you'll be entered in both a Banjo poster and a Banjo t-shirt. So minimum of $5, a Banjo poster, and a Banjo t-shirt. The next bid incentive is for I Want to Be the Guy, and that is to have him run as Gaiden, and he's $60 away. And then the next incentive that has not been met is for Kendo Rage. We're trying to reach $600. He's currently at $50. And that incentive is to run at a higher difficulty, as well as a bonus enemy roll call before the credits. I'd like to take the opportunity to talk about our sponsors. The Yeti has a line of AGDQ t-shirts again this year. $3 from the sales of each shirt goes directly to the PCF. That is theyeti.com/SDA. Also GameSpot. GameSpot donated cameras for our use during the marathon. We'd like to thank them again for the high quality of the stream. And let's not forget Twitch. Twitch is obviously the one making our streaming possible. They also have a donation incentive for the whole marathon. For every 1,000 viewers at the stream's maximum currently viewership, we will donate $50. That means if the stream tops out at 25,000 max concurrent viewers, it equals $1,250 donation. 50,000 max equals a $2,500 donation. And a max of 5,000 is a max donation of $5,000 if 100,000 concurrent viewers are achieved. So keep up the good work. A $200 donation from Anonymous. Thanks again to the Taz Runners for such an entertaining segment. And Blind Jim gives $50. Yo, dog, I heard you like Taz, so I put a game in your game so you can game while you game. Great job, guys. This is for you. Brian.
How do I say it? 4. All right.
No pressure, Stu.
No pressure at all.
If you do want to chat, right?
Huh?
If you want to chat, just say it. Just whatever. Whatever. Yeah, just count off whenever you're ready.
Okay, yeah. 3, 2, 1, go.
So you're about to watch Banjo Kazooie an any percent run, which is a little different from usual, because usually most people who play Banjo Kazooie run 100%. The big difference between any percent and 100% is we're able to actually drop off 31 jiggies, and we're skipping 90 notes. So
You only need 810.
you only need 810 notes and 69 jiggies. In addition to that, we're not getting any honeycomb pieces, so this entire run is going to be done with 5 health. And the biggest difference between 100% and any percent is while we do remove some of the longer jiggies that take some time and have a little luck to them, the run instead has a lot of luck. This first skip that's coming up, the bottle skip, which there's a required cutscene that you talk to bottles when you're at the top of that hill. But similar to the Lakitu skip in Super Mario 64, you can just jump over bottles.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get the first jiggy coming up here, which allows access to Mumbo's Mountain.
But you can skip the text by holding L, R, and B at the same time.
I wish I knew that.
Yeah.
$200 from Alois. Banjo Kazooie No Reset Run Hype. Been looking forward to this since before AGDQ started. Good luck with the run, Stiff.
So the first level coming up is Mumbo's Mountain, which is deceivingly the hardest level in the game, because this is the level Stiv likes to reset on the most.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, there's nothing that can terribly go wrong. You'll never see someone die in this level when they're speedrunning it. It's just that there are so many technical mistakes that you can make that they can just add up over time so easily. For example, normally you would need Talentron to walk up that hill, but there's a sort of slope timer that you can manipulate that if you stand on there long enough without doing anything, you just slide down. So
Sort of like with Termite Hill coming up.
yeah, what Kazooie Girl said, you'll see that skip in just a second. That same manipulation is used inside the Termite Hill. So we don't even have to transform into the termite.
Which is also very useful because you can save 5 Mumbo tokens then.
Actually, it's interesting you mentioned that. This skip is only possible to do on version 1.0 of the game. So if anyone's considering running this game, make sure you have 1.0 or else there's no point in running it.
Yeah.
Actually, you only save like 15 seconds maybe, so it's not that bad.
Just a reminder, there's a $5 minimum donation incentive for a Banjo poster or a Banjo t-shirt during this run.
So what Stiv just learned is probably the best move in the game in my opinion, the Talon Trot. And in addition to that, you're also going to be hearing Kazooie's noises a lot because the most optimal movement is done by jumping. So the best time to jump is always. So just expect to hear Kazooie all the time.
Yeah. You'll just hear throughout the whole run.
So probably one of the hardest parts coming up in this level is Conga and getting all the notes. If you do this part appropriately, you can actually do this in 2 oranges. Whereas most people would normally need to do the first 2 platforms with 3, 4, maybe even 5 oranges if they're not sure what they're doing. And right here, Jiggy just spawns right under Banjo and he grabs it.
Yep.
Alright, so he has to shoot Conga with some eggs. What's interesting though is on the third shot, he's going to go slightly off the screen and just save a little time. And he almost got pegged there. Good job, Stiv. We're proud of you.
Great job, Stiv.
Could have done a more optimal strat there, but it only saves like a second, if that, and if you miss it, you waste like 8.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel like doing it.
Safe strats.
Nothing wrong with safe strats in a marathon. Now let's see if Big Butt's in the way this time. That is actually the bull's name, Big Butt.
Oh shoot,
You-
close enough.
Oh! That's okay, it was on purpose.
So what he did there was quick diving, which basically, actually, Smash, you can explain it.
When you quick dive, what you're doing is you're dropping down in the water while you're leaving the talent trot animation, and that's actually an uninterruptible animation that allows you to just drop to the bottom of the water.
You'll see it a lot throughout the run.
It's $150 from Franker Z. I love everything. I love everything about all of what SDA does, and AGDQ is no exception. Keep up the phenomenal work. Donation amount goes to Reader's Choice. Also, hey Stiv, I hope you can see this message.
Oh my god!
I was waiting for that.
I hope you can see this message now that the chat has died down. I wanted to say congrats. I know you can do a little better, but I always want to tip my hat to you.
Better.
Through thick and thin, I will still be here to always support you. I know times are hard, but you always come back with a good attitude. I wish you the very best on your next runs and hope you get an even better score. I'll continue to be here and find new strats as always. Great job, Stiv. I'm rooting for you always. You should be proud. That was...
Oh wow. So this is another place where the termite is actually required, but using that same manipulation on the slopes, you can just get up there and grab the Jiggy without termite. So as I mentioned before, we're not getting any of the honeycombs, and normally the 2 honeycombs you would grab are the one near the water and the one where the totem juju pole was. So that's how you know that this is an any percent run. You'll also notice that the route for 100% Mumbo's Mountain and any percent Mumbo's Mountain are pretty similar. That's because that is one of the fastest levels in this run, so it makes sense to get all the notes now.
This is probably the hardest level coming up, 90%. A
One
lot
of
of flying technique here. It's kind of difficult.
Yeah, the problem with flying is that
Hopefully I won't screw it up.
the problem with flying is that it's kind of difficult to control yourself well. I mean, even if you hold R in the air, which makes it turn a little bit better, it's still not perfect.
You'll notice in like this level, you catch a lot of jiggies in the air because it saves time from Banjo doing the dance that he does when he picks up the jiggy.
Another interesting thing about this game is there's a lot of subtle time savers. For example, entering Talon Trap before you enter certain loading zones saves a couple seconds here and there, but it really stacks up over time, which really helps out throughout the entirety of the run.
I don't know. It's okay.
Oh,
And you
leaky
go
skip.
leaky skip.
I sort of got it.
It was like,
It's all right.
what he meant to do was talk to bottles as the leaky skip was being activated. So, not a huge time loss, but didn't look as flashy.
$50 donation from Sam Tyler. Hopefully we'll reach the goal early on. Great job, runners, and good luck on your run, Stivitybobo.
I like this Stivity. So one of the major differences right now that you're seeing in any percent, normally the sandcastle is done last. But since we are actually skipping one of the jiggies in this level, which is X marks the spot, it makes more sense in the route to actually get this first. Or not first, I'm sorry, second. Actually, no, I'm sorry, this is the first jiggy, my bad. I'm sorry.
$50 from Vinyl 7th. Been watching these marathon for a few years now. First time I've actually had money to donate. Love the cause and the community. Good luck on any percent, Stiv.
So the flying sections in this game are actually really, really difficult to do, and Stiv here makes it look really, really easy.
Yeah.
But it's actually really, really difficult to pull off, and it takes a lot of practice to do effectively.
So anyone who's familiar with 100%, will start seeing some similarities between 100% and any percent right about now, as he goes up to the ship and learns flight. Another nice thing about any percent is that we are actually skipping all but one of the transformations. So we're also skipping a lot of Momo tokens that are required normally.
$20 from Arizona Cat. Thank you to all the runners and the viewers for showing how awesome the speedrunning community is. Good luck on the run, Stiv. So hyped. P.S. I'm digging the bunny suit, Scott.
Thank you, Arizona Cat.
So we're about to come up to the first flight sequence. So good luck, Stiv.
But in any percent, you can skip the note that's on the right side.
That's
Thank
right.
God, because that note can be terrible sometimes.
So because we're actually skipping that note, which is a good point, we're going to be finishing this level with 99 notes. And one of the distinctions that's actually important to note is that when you get 100 notes in any given level, you actually get a free life. So whenever someone plays a game of Banjo Kazooie and they get all 100 notes, they'll get a life, and that'll usually add up enough with all the lives they get throughout the run. But unfortunately, because we don't get all 100 notes in any level except for the first, we're actually on a strict life count, and dying unnecessarily can actually mean the end of a run. That includes Furnace Fun, by the way.
Here comes the leap of faith.
Furnace Fun, it's amazing.
Leap of faith.
Leap of faith. Nice.
Yes!
Nice jump.
When the couch gets a chance, we're being asked for a roll call.
Sure, I'm Smasher32.
I'm Kazooie Girl.
I am Scott J. Progan.
I am Stivitybobo.
Great job, Steve.
So again, we're going to see that quick dive right here. Notice how he just drops to the bottom so that he can start swimming to the jiggy. And coming up, I actually forgot to mention, we saw one of the flight sequences earlier. He did a great job on that. And this is actually the third and probably the hardest flight sequence in this level.
Yeah, what he's going to do here is he's going to get the Jinjo, which is going to spawn a Jiggy, and then he's going to get the Jiggy that's in the alcove on the bottom. And he's going to do all of this while flying, that way it skips the Jiggy animation when he gets one. And it's actually really, really, really difficult to do.
Yeah, because you can't see the Jiggy on the bottom one.
And everything went pretty well in this level.
World record pace? World record pace?
Probably behind by a bit.
Streamer is this one record.
Still opportunity.
So you're not normally supposed to jump into Nipper that way. You have a little bit of time. Once he activates his text, you can just jump in and use invincibility, take advantage of that.
Right. So what you're going to see here is a death warp. We use death warps to save time from having to walk all the way back to the entrance of the level and go out.
Nice.
He died on purpose.
That was intentional.
Because again, it skips a jiggy dance thing, and the final one, oh no, you don't get 10 jiggies in Treasure Trove, but like in 100%, he does another longer dance. That once you get Death Warp, it saves a lot of time because it skips it.
So we're going to head over to Clanker's Cavern now, where we're actually going to activate the warp, I believe, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
This will help us later once we get to Click Clock Wood, and we have to open up Click Clock Wood and activate it first.
Which is all the way back at the beginning of the lair.
I'll explain more on that once we get to it.
$5 donation from Summerano. Hey, Stiv. Your boy Summer here. So awesome that you're at AGDQ this year. Kick butt.
Thanks, Summer.
So, Clanker's Cavern is the next level, and actually one of the interesting things about Clanker's Cavern is that a lot of this level is based on cycles. And cycles, there's probably some newer viewers in the audience watching, so just to explain what cycles are, it's similar to traveling down a road with a bunch of stoplights that are green and red simultaneously. You can only travel so far down the road as long as all the lights are green. Once it's red, you have to wait for the cycle or the stoplight to change back to green to proceed with the rest of the route. So in this first example, we're actually going to be meeting Gloop, and he'll be giving us some air, but he always gives the same amount of air in the same places. So if we do everything right, we know exactly where the bubbles are going to be, we know where the bubbles are going to be released.
$50 donation from Saren Wayne. This is my first time donating. Banjo Kazooie is one of my favorite games of all times. Cheers for the awesome event. Greetings from Norway.
Thank you, Sarah.
$20 from Lady. This is my first time watching AGDQ, and I can say on behalf of us ladies watching that I'm very happy to see the female population being represented on the couch. Thank you to all you participants, including the audience, for helping with progress towards a cancer-free world.
It's kind of funny because in a nostalgia sort of sense, this is actually a really scary part of the game for some people.
It's also pretty scary for speedruns, too.
That's true. If something goes wrong and you're down here, it's just panic mode. This is actually going really well.
It's a really strong
So far,
focus.
it's all right. 90% Clanker's Cavern is a lot less strict. 100% is just a lot more intense.
Right.
As long as I made that jump in the beginning, which I did, I'm pretty much okay.
Even if you didn't make that jump in the beginning, there is a backup strat.
Yeah.
It is a little bit slower.
It's like 5 seconds slower.
It is like 5 seconds slower, but it does exist, fortunately.
It's the original strat.
The original strat.
And being stiff, 5 seconds is not an option.
No, it's not.
Since 1985, the Prevent Cancer Foundation has invested $134 million in support of cancer prevention research, education, advocacy, and outreach programs nationwide.
This is another cycle that's actually coming up. We have to wait for Clanker to emerge from the water so that we can enter his gold tooth. If for some reason Stiv missed all the eggs, we'd have to wait for him to go underwater and then back up out of the water again.
With the underwater sections as well, it's the same concept as the flying areas, Swimming in this game is actually also pretty difficult to do as well, and it actually requires a lot of execution to do properly.
22 rings, right?
No, I'm always hoping for the 23.
This will be 21. Pretty sure.
You think so?
Yeah.
Actually, no.
Just a reminder on upcoming donation incentives. For DuckTales Remastered, there's a music type donation incentive. The original is leading at $240. The remix version is now at $80.
And coming up as soon as we get out of Clanker is actually another cycle. Once we get onto the blowhole, we have to wait for the blowhole to get out of Clanker so that we can get the Jiggy up above. Look at his eyes. Look at them.
This is a troll.
He's nuts.
See.
We're using the new parkour strats there.
Oh yeah.
Show off a little bit.
Sometimes that just doesn't do shit.
It's in this frame, I swear. I don't know.
We have a $10 donation from Brosentia. Brosentia here, throwing in a donation to our Twitter friend Elucidate for who guessed the closest time for Cave Story. The donation goes to naming the Wind Waker file Franker Z. Remember to follow the SDA's Twitter. There'll be much interesting content on there.
So coming up again is actually another cycle. But in order to hit that cycle appropriately, we need to make sure we get this quick grab Jiggy. Missing that actually does cost quite a few seconds, like 3 or 4, I think.
So that was a little iffy, but in the end, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
I honestly don't know what's going to happen with this fin cycle here. Hopefully, because I need to get on Clanker's fin when I surface after all this. And if I miss it, then that kind of wastes time. About 5 seconds or so.
Right.
We'd like to thank Strong Fox for donating the Banjo poster and the Banjo t-shirt, which you will be eligible for with a minimum donation during this run of $5.
So we're cutting it pretty close here. We're going to be underwater for quite a bit, and we're going to be on our last leg of breath here before we finally surface.
Can I make it?
You can make it.
I think you can make it.
Yep.
I don't know.
Ooh, barely.
That was pretty good.
So even though he grabbed that life, just because it was part in the way, it's actually a very valuable life in 90%, as I mentioned earlier.
Okay, unfortunately, I'm going to miss the ball cycle.
Right. So this is where cycles come into play. He's supposed to go inside the blowhole this time, but while he was getting that Momo token, it had already shot up, and he had to wait a couple of seconds for that to shoot up again.
And as you can see, what he did there is when he entered the loading zone, he ground pounded immediately to hit the witch switch. Again, this run is very based on very subtle time savers that really, really rack up over the entirety of the run.
Thanks, Bugs Bunny.
$20 from Sukigato. My friend's father is currently battling with cancer, but with foundations like PCF, one day sooner than later, families won't have to go through what they are. Good luck on the Banjo Kazooie run, Stiv. Best bird game ever. Sorry, best bird bear game ever.
So normally, yeah.
No, go ahead.
So normally I'm on 100%. We would want to just completely avoid all of those blades, but here in 80%, we're going to take a little bit of damage, and that really helps out in the end.
It's normally actually, well, you see right here, it's actually possible to not get hit in that area at all, even though you learn gold feathers right there and can just avoid the damage completely. But just because of how the route is planned out, we actually do need to get hurt because we're about to set up for a death warp.
All right.
A $6 donation from Freddie. I like the donation moderator. Sorry, I like the donation moderator. You did a great job. A big hug for you, my friend, and a big, big hug for this community. Thanks for the event. Greetings from Germany.
So one of the things that actually might be worth mentioning is those green slime monsters you saw earlier that like to sprout out from the wall. Those are not going to be the only time you see them. They are in other levels, and they actually deal 2 hits of damage, which when you're only working with 5 health is pretty serious. So while Stiv might have to detour for some health, it is possible he may go for a slightly more risky strategy and not go for that.
$50 from Azarius. I've been hyped up this year ever since I found out I missed it SGDQ. Keep up the great work, everybody. $15 from Kristen B. Thank you for speedrunning my all-time favorite game, Banjo Kazooie. Can I get the guy in the Bugs Bunny suit to say, "What's up, Doc?"
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
It's actually another part where health comes into serious play, because he only can get hit 5 times, and if he for some reason was hit by that green monster, he would have to detour for health, or else he would end up dying during this part.
And normally you need the, I guess the boots to go through there. I don't know what they're called.
Waiting boots? Yeah.
Yeah. You need those to go through there. Stiv, however, doesn't care about boots. He just goes through. we don't need boots for this run.
Yeah, they're too slow.
I agree.
So a lot of times in Bubble Gloop Swamp, you'll be taking damage because of the water.
Oh, yeah. That does happen a lot, actually, in this level, so get used to being chomped by piranhas.
This level's kind of a butt clencher.
But this is any percent, so there's no vial or RNG turtles.
Yeah, this level is kind of known, 100% for its RNG-based things. The Tip-Top Turtles are one of the big RNG factors in this level, in 100%. And thankfully, since this is any percent, we can completely skip over it. And as well as that vial is a little mini game that kind of wastes a lot of time to do. And so we don't have to go there either. We can straight up just get all the really, really fast jiggies and move on to the next level.
$15 from the Big Sniffer. Hey, Stivitybobo, I like your sweater and more to come. Pizza. $10 from Anonymous. Hey, announcer, did you do Dust Force at SGDQ? I loved your voice then and I'm loving it now. Nice to see you casting during Stiv's run. Love to Stiv. Yes, I did at SGDQ.
So coming up, Stiv actually has to kill some gold frogs for a jiggy. But the really nice part about this area is that it generates a lot of health. that's going to be useful for the rest of the run, or for the rest of the level, excuse me.
I'm back here.
Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him!
It happens.
That was a chase.
That frog was not having it. He wasn't about that life. He knew better. So what we're seeing now is the hut jumps, which basically in the normal game, or when you're not speedrunning it, you would have to ground pound those in order to get the spring pad to jump over to the next area. But thankfully, you can just talon trot on top of the hut and jump up, and you'll be able to get up there no problem.
It's really easy to fall off still.
Except this hut.
Yeah, except this one. This one we don't do.
It is possible to do, it's just much harder to do, not really feasible for a run.
It doesn't really save all that much time anyway.
In addition, instead of getting the boots, we're also going down here for some notes. And in addition to that, there's also a Jinjo that we can grab without turning into the alligator, which means we can skip the alligator completely. But we get chomped again.
Yeah, it's good to have 2 health or more here because of this Jinjo in the water.
It's very tricky.
Don't want to waste gold feathers.
Despite how he sounds, he's actually enjoying it.
Like right here, you would be doing turtles in 100%. Probably the most RNG in the game, but.
What, aside from
Besides
furnace
fringe fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot this one.
So that's all the health we need for the rest of this level. And Stiv is going to death warp eventually at the very back of this corner where the notes are. I always think he's going to get you.
He does sometimes. If you're facing him, you can touch Kazooie's head.
Just a reminder for everybody, the next donation incentive that hasn't been met is to pick the music type of DuckTales Remastered. Right now, the original has $240. The remixed version has $130.
We actually do need these 2 notes, so we're going to slight detour for them. There is actually one more note, but it's too far out of the way to even get.
A $100 donation from Anonymous. Psyched to see you run, Stiv. That's it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You might want to actually get that gold feather. Yeah. Get out here, frog.
Make it up.
Oh, never mind.
You will.
That's the spirit. Perfect.
And we are out of Bubble Glue Swamp.
It's a scary level.
As a reminder, there is a $5 minimum donation to be in the running for a Banjo poster or a Banjo t-shirt.
So normally what you're supposed to do there is actually shock spring up to the urn that you'll see later on in this Grunty's lair. But you can actually shortcut that by just jumping on the statue's arm and going inside the hat directly.
much to earn.
So even though I said before that we're not going to be using that urn, the shock spring is still useful later, and you'll see why after we finish Gobi's Valley.
$10 from Chaos Infernal 11. Hey, this is the first of several donations to come throughout the week. Shoutouts to SDA, SRL, and everyone who was at AGDQ, behind the scenes making it all happen. Best of luck, Stiv. Hoping we'll see a washing machine for the hilarity of it.
Thanks, Chaos.
Okay.
Oh. High jump strats.
There's the parkour strats, you know, you gotta get them in.
Absolutely. So in this level, just because a lot of the jiggies revolve around turning into a walrus and doing a lot of the races, we're only getting 4 jiggies in this level, but we're getting almost all the notes instead.
To be another flying section up here in which we're gonna finally test out the beak bomb.
And another flying section where we just, first we're going to shoot the buttons and spawn a jiggy at the bottom. Then afterwards, we're going to go grab the jiggy in the pipe jiggy, and then we're going to land on top of the hat. Nice.
Okay, cool.
When you ground pound off a surface and then you fall a long distance, you won't take any falling damage. It was a really, really, really nice subtle time saver there where he entered Talon Shot before he entered the loading zone and immediately after the beak bomb, which is actually really impressive.
So even though using boots right here is a little slower, we're doing this for a little insurance, making sure we have enough health leaving this level, especially because we're losing a lot of it right now.
$5 from Anonymous. Hey guys, been watching this event every year since the days when the event was in Yuama's basement. Crazy and awesome to see how far it has come. Loving this Banjo Kazooie run, and shout outs to the guy in the Bugs Bunny suit. Keep it up, guys, and we'll be watching every day. And can we get a bonjour from the guy in the Bugs Bunny suit?
Bonjour! Why bonjour? Like, I'm thinking about it. Why bonjour?
Good argument.
Fair is fair.
So I'm sure you've noticed snowballs being pegged at Stiv every now and then. That's actually one of the biggest risks in this level, is that you can just be hit by a snowball. It could be the end of the run, but fortunately we do have the health for one hit. So that's the first time and last time we'll see Boggy today.
No ways.
Aw.
We'd like to mention that we found out Grant Kirkhope, the composer of Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie, GoldenEye, and other games, is watching the stream.
No way.
Yeah.
Hi, Grant.
So, thank you for watching.
I actually want to give a huge shout out to Grant Kirkhope. He was actually in the Banjo Tooie run in the Happy Tales Marathon, and it was a pleasure seeing him there in the chat. And I really like his work in Banjo Kazooie, and I'm sure everyone else does as well.
Grant, I just want to say I love you.
That was Matt Taz. So this part is just the part where we open Mad Monster Mansion. It's kind of a long swimming sequence. Nothing too crazy happens here, but it is slightly out of the way just because of how they placed it.
Gotta open the level.
I mean, why can't you just backward long jump through the door? I don't understand. Like you're confusing me here.
That's great.
So during this swim back, I actually think it's worth mentioning that the reason any percent actually does exist is because of a skip found by a glitch hunter named Chronicies. What the glitch entails is that we're instead going to be skipping a door that takes normally 25 jiggies. Without that skip, there would be no reason to run any percent because we'd have to finish the game with 94 out of 100 jiggies, and that wouldn't really be useful or even worth our time. One of the biggest factors that it could improve is an 810 note door skip. That's probably one of the biggest reasons that we can't cut down the time anymore. And it's important to note that between the two world's records that Stivitybobo actually holds, there is a 45-minute difference between 100% and any percent.
So once you get to the door and Furnace Fun, that pretty much determines the run.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not the run till Furnace Fun.
So shout out to Chronicies for that find.
Shout out to Chronicies for basically finding everything in Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, she's found not only a lot of techniques and tricks in this game, but also in Banjo Tooie. I think, she cut down half an hour from Banjo Tooie recently? She found a lot of skips in Banjo Tooie. And it's actually a really fun game to run.
So for those of you who've watched last year's AGDQ and watched the 100% run, you'll notice that one of the commentators made a comment regarding you have to open that area up before you enter Mad Monster Mansion. And the reason for that is because we have to go there as the pumpkin, and we can't open that as the pumpkin. So we do that again here in any percent as well.
This is also the reason that the pumpkin is the only required transformation, just because we have to enter that area as the pumpkin. It's kind of annoying, but oh well.
Just to raise the water level. Like,
Right.
don't even get a jiggy out of it.
$50 from Wildo. You guys rule.
Thanks, Wildo.
$10 from Easy Peasy. Thanks for doing this. Could you get Bugs Bunny to say, "Oh, Bud, Gary Reed"?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, Bud, Gary Reed.
Oh, Bud Gary Reed? What?
Oh, Bud,
Oh,
Gary
Bud
Reed.
Gary. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Bud Gary Reed. I don't. I'm missing something here. There's a reference that I don't understand.
The donator says thanks.
Okay.
$5 from Nosfi. Me again. I had to donate for the Bugs Bunny suit. From downtown. Keep it up, Scott and Stiv.
So a little tidbit that I think is worth mentioning here. There's actually a Mumbo token in this fire, but if you just run through the fire, you can grab the token. Oh, don't. Okay.
Don't want to wake him up.
Yeah, if you land on the ground while Napper is sleeping, you wake him up, and going back up is a little bit of a walk.
You can actually enter through the front door, breaking the front door, but then you have to tiptoe all the way across, and it takes forever.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I never knew that.
Oh, Banjo's going for a swim. Oh, he got it. Very well done. So what just happened there is he got the Jiggy from the Jinjo, the final spawn there, and on the same frame basically, when he does his dance, you can kind of move over, and he moved over to the side, and that kind of skipped the Jiggy animation, which Banjo would do when you got that. So that saves a good amount of seconds there too. The well.
This is scary. You're supposed to do this part as a pumpkin, but with a little bit of maneuvering, you can actually collect all the notes while swimming.
Oh.
It's okay. Parkour.
$20 from Anonymous. Hello from Russia. You are doing the right thing. Bugs Bunny's costume is awesome. I have a bear one. Hope you'll understand my fluent English.
Thank you. Oh,
Okay.
That was interesting.
hashtag that's never happened to me before.
It hasn't.
There's always one.
So the only reason we're here is just for the notes. You can actually get a Jiggy in here, but it's one of the more longer Jiggies to get, so we just skip it.
$50 from Labreezy. Just like to thank all of you over at AGDQ for the great stream. Great times, great fun, all for a great cause. Shout out to Lizzie for being a doof, and kudos to Bugs Bunny for doing all these requests without hesitation. What a bro.
You are quite welcome.
All right.
And now we have the pots.
So I guess since Grant Kirkhope is watching this, something that I think is worth mentioning is that this part right here, where the pots say thank you, apparently was re-recorded several times to make sure that the pots weren't saying something else.
If you listen closely.
And it still sounds like something else.
Hey, they got it close.
$5 donation from Connor. $5 for the guy in the Bugs Bunny outfit to say, "Hello, nurse."
Hello, nurse.
Aw, no washing machine.
Not this time.
No Wish Wash World Record.
No.
Actually, nice little fun fact. Stiv has actually gotten at least one world record while transforming into washing machine once. I think one.
With two.
Yeah, one time he transformed twice.
And then what are the statistics on that? How many chances do you have? Like, what's the statistic rather?
It's 1 in 40.
One
Yeah,
in
1 in
40?
40.
Okay.
So you should never see it in any percent.
Ever.
Hypothetically, maybe. So now we're gonna go get flushed down a little toilet as a pumpkin. Kind of gross, but whatever.
Rare has a tendency of somehow incorporating poop in their games.
We're looking at you, Grant Kirkhope. We're looking at you.
A $100 donation from Howler Monkey Yell. Keep up the great work. I'd love to hear someone on the couch do their best grunty voice impression.
I mean, I'm tempted. I mean, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can try my best, but I can't do it.
You're better than all of us, don't worry. So we're actually on our way to Gobi's Valley next. The interesting thing is you're actually supposed to do Gobi's Valley before Mad Monster Mansion, but it just so happens that doing Mad Monster Mansion first saves about 40 seconds, I believe. In addition to that, we actually need to go to Gobi's with at least 3 health, because up until we learn the last move, the Turbo Talon Trot, we actually lose 2 health before that point.
Is it possible to get a washing machine here?
I never have. I
think.
don't think you can.
Apparently Cosmo's gotten it, but is Cosmo here right now?
Nope, don't.
I could have asked him.
Whoa, whoa, wait, whoa. So now we're finally going to unlock Gobi's Valley, and then we're going to go into there and have an adventure there.
I opened this level as Pumpkin because if you do it as Banjo, you have to leave Talon Shot, and that wastes like half a second. What?
Thankfully, since this is any percent, we don't have to do the famous Gobi clip,
Oh, come.
Oh.
Ooh.
which has been known to be a run killer in many, many attempts. May we have a moment of silence.
Thank you, Chronokeys.
Thanks, Chronokeys. Thank you. Thank you so much.
A $10 donation from Toon Goojper. Good morning from the Netherlands. Been watching since the last marathon and am absolutely addicted. First donation of many to come this AGDQ. Also, I absolutely love the Bugs Bunny costume.
Thank you guys so much.
That's actually on purpose. You don't actually get hit until you're in the sand for a little bit of time.
Like right here is where you would originally do Gobi Clip. But we're not going to kill the run.
In addition,
No, I was actually going to ask you if you could explain what Gobi Clip, how it works, and what
Okay.
it accomplishes.
how Gobi Clip works is, well, after the speak bomb, that was on purpose, don't worry. Just for these 5 notes, how Gobi Clip works, I'm still not exactly sure why it works, but instead of shooting eggs into Jinxie's nose to open up that door, instead you beak barge, into the side, and you actually just clip inside, and you're able to just walk basically you're able to like walk into the loading zone on the opposite side of the door. Something else to mention is that that trick is what I thought was actually the US version only. You can actually do it on PAL by using Rat-a-tat-rap instead. So I thought that was interesting.
Oh, wow. The Gobi Clip?
Yeah, the Gobi Clip. I forget who told me that. Wish I could remember. So this is another part where boots are just too slow, so we just get the notes normally.
And thankfully, since we just talked to Bottles, he refilled our health bar, and so doing this is possible.
And here's a part, nice little glitch, where we grab this Jiggy without the speedy shoes. And if you listen really closely, you can actually hear this, the Talon Trot music. And you're going to hear that until we enter the puzzle area. It's going to be really faint, so it's probably a little hard to hear.
Yeah, the game thinks like, oh, well, there's no way that you can get this without using these shoes. Sorry, not happening. And then you kind of just do it anyway, so the game plays it because it thinks you're wearing the shoes.
It's kind of like at the beginning, grabbing the Jiggy on top of Mumbo's Mountain.
$5 from Dan Smith. $5 for somebody in the audience to high five Bugs Bunny. Good luck on Furnace Funds.
You're not in the
High fives all around. High fives all around.
Daddy.
We're gonna high five after this cutscene.
Yeah?
Yeah, high fives.
Make sure we do it one more time after Furnace Fun.
Even if it's
Bam!
That was a good one. Stings.
Another reminder, we're here to raise funds for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. The foundation is the only U.S. nonprofit organization solely devoted to cancer prevention and early detection. Each year, more than 1.6 million Americans will be diagnosed with cancer and more than 580,000 will die from the disease. However, research shows that up to 60% of the cancer cases and more than 50% of the cancer deaths are preventable with the knowledge we have right now.
So there's actually a couple of notes on this pyramid that normally might be a hassle to get, but we're able to grab them while we're heading up to the top of the pyramid, so we don't have to detour for these. Also in 100%, we usually also get the eggs or feathers, but since we don't really use those much anymore, there's no need for them.
So we're happy to announce that we are going to have a Skype call with Grant Kirkhope.
No way! No way.
And I believe that's coming right up. Now, here we go.
Don't die.
Yeah, please.
Oh, my parkour.
You're saved.
Hello.
Hi, Greg.
Hello, how you doing?
We're doing well. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
No problem. You enjoying the run so far?
Yeah, it's very good. I can't believe you did it so quickly. It's amazing.
Oh boy. So Grant, a few questions. When you first started composing for this game, what was a big inspiration for you?
Well, it didn't sort of start off like that. It was Dream at the start, wasn't it? And then it kind of went to Banjo Kazooie, and I'd written some more Zelda-esque music for it. And then when it changed to Banjo, you know, they sort of said to me, you need to write some kind of more jolly platform music and not something that was like, you know, RPG. So I didn't want to write something that was too sweet like Mario. I wanted it to be more quirky. So I was trying to find some kind of, you know, quirky sound that would fit the kind of quirky characters. So it was kind of a bit sort of Danny Elfman influence from like Beetlejuice, that kind of thing. So that's the kind of mood I was trying to get with it.
Okay.
Okay, just another simple question.
All right.
What is your favorite song from Banjo Kazooie that you composed?
That's really hard, you know. I probably something like maybe I like Mad Monster Mansion. And I like Freeze Easy Peaks, probably the best. That's my favorite, I think.
Okay.
Oh, wow. If I have a question, I'll ask you later.
That Jiki was giving you some trouble.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
Whoa.
Oh boy.
All right.
It's okay. He can still recover from that.
Don't be
Well,
so
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why are you not wearing a Kazooie suit?
I forgot it at home, okay?
Well, it's just not good enough. You should at least have a Kazooie suit on, or at least a Banjo Kazooie suit.
Oh, what about a banjo suit? Why can't I wear a banjo suit?
Yeah, exactly. You know, where's the backpack?
If I had known.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
All right, fine. I have a question for you, Grant.
Okay.
Did you ever expect to see someone speedrunning this game over 15 years from when you made it?
No, I didn't expect to see someone 15 minutes from when I made it. Never mind 15 years. It's just, I mean, you know, I always say this, but I can't believe that people are still playing the game after all this time. It's just so nice to see people still liking it. And like I've got a son who's 11, and he started playing at XBLA, and it was, you know, to watch him play, it was really. I didn't tell him that I did the music for it, because I thought if I hated it, it'd be really bad, so I kept it quiet. Yeah, I can't believe people still want to play it. It's so nice. It's really, really humbling. Fantastic.
Aw.
I appreciate that. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I still listen to your music. I don't know, like I have it on my playlist every time I drive in the car, so.
Me too.
I know, I tell you what, I found that really bizarre as well, because like, you know, people have like, you know, Metallica, and then like, you know, Mumbo's Mountain next to it. It's like, it just seems like the weirdest thing that people still listen to it. So, and like the quality of the music back then wasn't very good. It was like really low sample rates, you know, all that stuff. So, I just find it amazing. It's really nice, you know. For an old gentleman like me, it's very nice.
Aw.
Oh, and one last question. In Banjo-Tooie and Mayhem Temple,
Right?
do they say, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough?
Well, they don't say that. It's me saying I did that. Yeah, it was me. Yeah, it was like a joke, because like in the UK, it's like a, you know, like skinheads. It's the chant they used to chant at football matches. They used to shout that was a chant to say they're going to get a fight. You know, that was the thing. So, me and Greg Males, the guy that designed Banjo, thought it was quite funny to include it. And then that was supposed to be in the temple was supposed to be in Banjo Kazooie, but it didn't. In the end, it got get pushed to Banjo Tooie. So all the samples that I used for that thing that I used for that, I just turned those into Mumbo's speech. So I just rearranged all the samples are all separate syllables. So I just stuck them in the first game and used them as Mumbo's when he talks. And when I rearranged it, I found I could get him to say, you know, it sounded like Ekum Bokum, but that just is those syllables from that phrase rearranged. It just sounds that way. It is just the come and have a go if you think you're hard enough thing. It just plays it at random. And so, but I found when I mixed them all together, I could get him to say Ekum Bokum. So that was it. You know what I mean?
Wow. That's crazy.
Songs based on an homage to Teddy Bear's Picnic from 1932.
What was that?
Specific question.
What was that?
Oh, that was close.
Are any of the songs in this game based on an homage to Teddy Bear's Picnic from 1932?
Are any of the songs from Teddy Bear's Picnic in 1932, did any of those songs inspire you?
Well, I mean, I get asked that a lot, because like the Grunty's Lair's theme is a bit like that. and I really honestly can't remember, but I think probably. You know, it's like it's you know, even I can see the similarities. So I think I was thinking it's funny that Banjo was a bear and all the rest of it. So I mean, probably, but I really honestly can't remember. I get us that tons of times, but probably, yeah, something like that.
So what Stiv just did there was he just clipped through the wall simply by walking through it, because here in Banjo-Kazooie, we don't need walls.
We can get another note in Click Clock Wood if he doesn't want to go back to that note.
Yeah, I don't want to go back to that.
Okay then.
So, like, do you guys know all the kind of tricks and glitches in Banjo-Kazooie then, do you?
Us specifically or everyone?
Well, all of them. I mean, there's a lot, so I don't even know how many there are.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of tricks. For example, you probably just saw us do the engine room, which I wish we had actually talked about.
Yeah.
The whole engine room actually went through a lot of sort of route changes to make it go from basically a run ender to more or less a concern, so to speak.
Right.
It used to be really, I used to watch this Stivitybobo. He used to lose a lot of runs, and we actually went through a lot of changes in that to make it, I wouldn't call it easy by any means, but not as scary.
Right.
And especially because I'm sure you've heard a lot of people complain about the engine room being really, really bad, myself included.
You mean like bad because it's hard or bad because it's got so many bugs in it?
Bad because it's hard. The problem is, it's extremely unforgiving. All you have to do is just hit one fan and then you lose your life. And if the engine room is the last thing you do, you also lose all your notes. So you guys accidentally made the game really hard.
Right. Well, that's not my fault. That's Greg Mayles. You can ask him. He did it.
I'll have a word with him.
I was mailing today actually, so I'll pass it on to say that you know, he made a terrible job and it's all his fault.
It's actually funny you say that because I really love like how hard this game is.
Right.
I mean, it's harder. I can't say that, but I think this game is relatively hard, but in a different way. It's just to ramble on a bit, like the difficulty curve. When I say difficulty curve, I mean it starts out really easy and then it gets really hard really fast. A lot of games don't have that. It's actually not even good game design. But for some reason, I really liked it for some reason.
Right. It's weird actually, because I was talking to someone about this the other day, and I started saying that like I remember like Greg would sit in his office just with a bunch of cubes on a screen and like jumping Banjo back and forth and just getting the jumps just the right length and not too far, not too close, all that stuff. And you know, that by itself was like fun. So like I think we kind of got the fun element in the game before we even made the game, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And sometimes the way people make games these days is they don't think about that.
I mean,
and they just stick it together,
Right. I mean, I have to assume that the guy making the game knows what he's doing. So, I mean, that is obviously going to happen. It just so happens that a lot of people really like that too.
Yeah. No, I think that, I don't know, and obviously I love the game. I think it's a great game, and I just think Banjo 2 was probably just a bit too large. It wasn't quite as concise and as I think Banjo was like perfect, and Banjo 2 was probably just a bit flabby.
It has its charm. I'll say that.
Yeah, but like I'd get lost in Pterodactyl Land and couldn't work out where I was so many times, and also in Glitter Gulch Mine, you can get lost in there really easy, And I think I think we thought, just make it bigger, it'd be better, and it wasn't that wasn't the truth. It needed to be just different. Right. I think that you think that because you make one game and it's right, it's good. Just make that game twice the size and it's better. It's not. It doesn't work like that.
Exactly. Stiv, did you want to ask Grant anything?
No, unfortunately, I don't have any questions at this time.
Yeah, I'm not very excited. I'm not very excited, really. I understand.
I have a question. What is your opinion on nuts and bolts?
Oh, dear me. I think everyone knows the answer to that, don't they? It's a bit strange, really. It's like my son and his friends really love that game. Like I think that the people who hadn't played the first two games, it was good. Because Banjo had quite a strong following, it was nothing like people were expecting. And I wasn't expecting, to be honest with you, when it came out. It's like when we got the kind of design, it was like, oh, this is a kind of a strange driving game. What's that all about? So, I feel your pain. Don't worry.
What someone asked in the background was, what would you say if you found out someone also speedruns that game as well?
I don't know. It's quite a big one, isn't it? I suppose it'd be quite good. I mean, I don't know. It's not as popular. I mean, it's sold like, way less than the other two.
Right.
I don't know the numbers, but when I looked a few years ago, it's like 500,000, which is pretty low. So I'm not sure how many it's sold now. I mean, I wish that Rare and Microsoft would just make a proper Banjo 3. It would be great. They should just do it and just get it out the door and do it. It'd be fun.
You have no idea how many people say the same thing.
Well, I know, but I mean, the trouble is, like in the cold hard light of day, as a student, then they've got to work out whether investing the time to make it, enough people are going to buy it to get their money back. That's the thing,
Absolutely.
So you just don't know just how many real Banjo-Kazooie fans there are out there. It's I've got no idea.
Right.
I don't know how you could quantify that, And also for Rare, you got to think about Rare. They've made. I mean, like it or not, the two Connect Sports games that they made have both sold together about 8 million copies. So it's made real money. That's probably the only money Microsoft have made since buying Rare. So it's. I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. I'd like to see a Banjo 3. I definitely would. It'd be great. Whether I did the tunes or not, I still have to see it. But who knows? Fingers crossed, eh?
I think it's just that what people play now is completely different from what people played 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That Death Wars was actually on purpose, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where, I think that there's a time, when we made Banjo Tooie after that, we all thought that platform games were dead because they were dying out. People weren't,
Did we lose them? Uh-oh.
No, Grant, come back!
No!
Grant!
Don't leave us.
Uh-oh.
Maybe have a moment of silence.
Already is silent.
I'm so upset.
Do they?
Oh, did it drop? Is that... Well, thank you, Grant Kirkhope, for that call.
yes, I'm back again now, but I need to go.
Thanks, Grant. You're the best.
Yeah, it's time to go and put
If
the
we
rest
don't
of
hear
it.
from you, if we
I
don't
wish
hear
you all,
from you for the rest of the time, just enjoy the rest of the run.
Yeah, I wish you all the best. I hope you do have a good run, and good luck to you
He's
all.
there.
Yeah, welcome back, Grant.
He's back.
Yeah, yes, I'm
Yeah,
going
Grant.
to
Yeah! Good job.
So I'll say goodbye and good luck.
All right.
All right, thank you, Grant.
Thank you,
See
Grant.
ya. Bye.
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 So thanks to
That
Grant
was pretty
Kirkhope for that nice call.
That was so cool.
If you want to spend some time reading donations, because we're probably a little behind now on donation readings.
This part was kind of subtle too.
$5 from Dirkman12345. I have confirmed that doing calculus is impossible while watching AGDQ. By the way, you look absolutely adorable in the Bugs Bunny outfit.
Thank you.
So during the entire call, we actually went through Rusty Bucket Bay, which is a scary level, like I said, because of engine room, but also because the water deals a lot of underwater health, so to speak. So you can easily drown if you don't keep an eye on it. Excuse me. And with that, we collected all the jiggies, and we're just going into Click Clockwood to get all the notes we need, and then we're ready for Furnace Fun.
I'm just gonna grab a life here because you enter Furnace Fun usually with 0 lives, and I don't feel like doing that. Because if you die, then you have to watch the game over screen.
We don't
You have
want
to go all
that.
the way back up.
As White Goose would say, you need a lucky oven.
The lucky it's key.
I'd like to remind everybody about our language restreams. The French restream can be found on twitch.tv/MrMV. And the German restream can be found on twitch.tv/exe_de.
So this level is actually kind of different from the other levels because instead of everything being laid out in one level, this is sort of laid out into 4 sub-levels based on the seasons of each world. So we have spring first, summer second, fall third, and winter, which we're actually not entering for any percent because it would be too much of a detour. And actually, I really do like this level. I like how the music is diverse, and I like how the level is actually really large, and I'm kind of sad that any percent doesn't see a lot of it.
The DuckTales Remastered Music Type Donation War is currently at original $240, remixed at $140. After that, there's a donation incentive for Kendo Rage. If we reach $600, the difficulty mode will be higher, and there'll be a bonus enemy roll call before the credits at the end of the game. We're currently at $95.
That guy was a jerk.
It always is.
So using a little trick here, actually, first time we're going to see it in an extreme condition, we actually have a stomp recoil invincibility. So after the stomp, we actually just fall and we don't get hurt anywhere. You see a lot more of that in 100% though.
You'll see it in the final battle too here.
$50 from Rory Extra Life. Greetings from the UK. Loving the run so far. Perfect thing to watch on the night I pull an all-nighter to fix my body clock.
Oh my god.
Hopefully one day I'll be good enough at running a game to join you. But for now, have some money.
So we just helped this guy, not for the jiggy, but for the 2 notes inside in summer.
We don't need his charity jiggy. We don't need any of that.
Alright. Almost done here.
So we're going to fall now to collect the least amount of notes we can so we can beat the game. Go into Furnace Fun and get back Tootie. Tootie, or whatever. I'm bad.
Don't worry about it.
I forgot that this game had a storyline. Like,
You don't even know who we're rescuing and
Nope.
you're sitting on the couch.
nope.
So it's important to note actually that all the enemies in this game, except for 2 of them that we only see for a second, deal 2 damage. So if Stiv gets hits now, it's kind of a bad time loss. Oh, I should probably explain why. When you die in this game, you actually lose all of your notes, which is actually different from Banjo Tooie, where you keep them after you collect them. So dying in this game is actually a huge penalty. And it's actually one of the biggest reasons it's actually hard to learn as a new speedrunner. Great game to learn, just a little hard.
$10 donation from Chachi444. Hey guys, Tyler Guillen
Oh my
here
God.
once again. This time I'm donating $10 not just to get in for the shirts and stuff, but for my former Japanese classmate playing Banjo Kazooie right now. I know it's you, Steve. Konnichiwa, Donkey-san.
Oh my God.
Good luck with the rest of your run.
Thank you.
That was scary.
That was really scary.
All right, furnace fun time.
Now, for those of you who played this game when you were a kid, you'll notice that we didn't talk to Brentilda, the Good Witch, at all. And what that does in the game is, at Furnace Fun, you'll be asked these questions in regards to what Brentilda will tell you about her sister Gruntilda. And since we didn't talk to her, we don't know the answers to those questions. So we're just going to go guess.
Yeah, every time the questions are randomized, so people will always say, why don't you just learn the grunty questions? But it's different every time, so. And grunty questions can be a run killer, especially if you get it on a death square.
Which death squares do occasionally spawn grunty questions, so it's going to be interesting to watch.
Now, there are some questions in here that have to require Steve having to listen to it. So what you're going to have to do is we're going to have like a little bit of seriousness and have to stay as quiet as we can.
Okay.
The Joker questions can also be grunty questions, so we have to be careful of RNG.
Joker questions allow you to skip squares.
All right, so that's one incorrect so far.
Nice. That was fast. That was very fast. Also, we skip the time squares because the puzzles take too long and waste a lot of time.
Okay, that's square one. Okay.
Okay.
Damn it.
Ah,
It's 3.
oh, not good. There we go. And coming up, you're probably going to see that the path eventually does take 3 skull squares at once. So that's going to be a lot of RNG we have to be careful for. Good luck, dude.
Bridge of Death.
That's one. That's one.
Nice.
Good.
Nice.
RNG gods were nice to us that time.
Still got one more.
Yep, the last
Time to
one.
celebrate yet.
Safe strats?
Safe strats.
It's not necessarily safe. Wait,
We're
going for it.
oh my god.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, good.
Nice.
We're out of furnace fun. All right.
And now that we're done with Furthest Fun, we get to sit through a couple minutes of credits.
So this is a good time for donations.
Yep.
Okay, thanks. $5 from Jazz. This Banjo Kazooie run just went from amazing to amazinger, thanks to the great Grant Kirkhope. Shoutouts to everyone at EdgyDQ for doing what you do and making this whole event awesome. Good luck to all the runners. $10 from Spike1209. I'd like to thank you for the awesome and super great stream, and the thoughts behind that are amazing. I always hear in the red donations something about the Bugs Bunny guy, but I personally think that the sweet lady in between the three guys is the most adorable person there. Banjo-Kazooie is great. Took me so many lifetime to complete it 100%, and love to see it getting speedrun. Keep up the good work, everybody.
I guess one thing I can mention, most people that have actually sped run Banjo-Kazooie before usually, or might have noticed, even last year's AGDQ, a different path that we use for Furnace Fun. Usually what a lot of people used to do was go left, and as of recently, most top tier speedrunners have actually been going right, and the biggest reason for that is because we skip, or instead of having to deal with 5 grunty questions, which can lose a lot of potential time, we instead only deal with 2. So we only have to deal with a little bit of lost potential time, but the trade-off for that is having to deal with skull squares, and that's very dangerous and just can suddenly end a run if you get unlucky.
But you know, YOLO, so.
Yeah, Grant.
So just to remind everybody, we're here to raise funds for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. The mission of the Prevent Cancer Foundation is saving lives through cancer prevention and early detection. Our vision is to stop cancer before it starts. We are the Speed Demos Archive organization. It's the premier community for video game speedruns and SRL Speedruns Live, the best site to race video games online against others.
Something else I can actually mention is, while it would actually be faster to reset these fake credits, it's sort of a tradition in our speedrunning community to actually watch these. We've been doing it since I've started, and I don't see us skipping these credits for a very long time, if ever. No, because, I mean, the credits take at least a couple of minutes, so. Whereas resetting probably takes a minute.
I know.
The credits, actually, does it affect the game time?
No,
It doesn't. I did not know that.
pretty sure.
There's really no point in resetting.
Yeah, where would it even count? So that's a good
doesn't?
point.
No, wait, it might.
Well, where would it count? Grunty's lair? Because it has to count in a level. That's a really good question. I have no idea. Bugs, what do you think?
I think Brent
I think we took a wrong turn in Albuquerque.
Darn.
It might count towards I mean, there's only a 4-minute difference between game time and real time. Or no.
Is it? No, it's like 3 or 4 minutes.
No, it's 14 minutes. I'm thinking of something else, I'm sorry.
Wait, what was the 14 minutes?
There's a 14-minute difference between real time and game time.
I don't know, that's really weird. I have no idea.
Banjo, don't you do it.
Yeah.
Don't you do it, Banjo.
Get him.
No, Banjo, don't
Get
you
him.
do it!
Do it. Do it.
No!
It's worse than George and Mildred and Tui.
I'm sorry, dude. There's other carrots out there.
I know, I know.
So, before we do this extremely unique glitch, it is actually based on an audio cue. So, we're gonna have to be quiet for this trick because it is actually a frame perfect trick. What frame perfect means is, since this game runs at 30 frames per second, he only has 1/30th of a second to actually press the button he needs. And in addition to that, he needs to move in a very particular direction. So he can still pull off the frame perfect button press and mess up the trick. So it's an experience.
Yeah, it's by far the hardest trick in this game. Or in this run at least.
That's another reason why 100% is better because you don't have to do it.
Whoa, opinions.
All right, Steve. Stivitybobo. Good luck.
Oops. This is all the hype.
Moment of truth.
All the hype.
Oh,
Oh, wow. Fourth try, nice job.
All right.
Just like world record.
There's a lot. Oh, really quickly, he was able to actually clip through the note door and grab the egg power up. You don't even need the notes for that. Nice. Nice. Uh-oh. Nice.
where are you going?
Ooh, barely.
This is the
Oh
most
my
clutch
God.
battle I've seen ever. We're taking this run into overdrive.
Nice.
Uh-oh.
Nice. Wow. Cutscene skill. Time's coming up soon. Wow.
Time.
Nice.
1:34.54.
Wow.
That was really good.
44?
That was 54 seconds off world record.
Wow.
Pretty good. Great job, Steve. You
Great
should be
job,
proud. Good job.
I thought that was going to be a lot worse.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be a lot worse.
The first try was pretty good.
yeah, like
I
a lot
was
of-
so
a lot of your
afraid.
time to save your battle and then your
Yeah, first one was good.
That was a really good run, though. Like, what? I don't think you had any major botches.
Besides the quick like Lloyd where he had to like go back for the feather.
Oh, right.
He fell in the water in Mumbos.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't really paying attention to Rusty Pumpkin Bay. I was not going to get a quick note, but I mean,
He missed that one note. He had to double back for it and click clock.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was a really good run, though.
Yeah, wow. I'm surprised.
And fourth.
So just to remind everybody where we stand with donation incentives, DuckTales Remastered has a music type battle going on, original versus remixed. $260 right now on the 8-bit original version, and the remix version is at $140.
Dude, Melon Girl. Huh? Melon Girl.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She's my favorite character. Darn.
Should I check again?
After that, for
Just
Kendo
get it on
Rage,
stream so you can look at it later.
we're looking to raise $600. We're currently at $95 for a higher difficulty mode, and also a bonus enemy roll call before the credits.
Stivitybobo, right?
Yep, Stivitybobo.
Scott J. Progan.
Kazooie girl.
And Smasher 32.
Great job, guys.
Thank you.
Fun
Thank
run.
you.
So what we're doing now is we're just checking the game time.
It's important to note, while we do also go by real time, the community largely goes by game time.
Okay,
As
that,
far
that
as
was the
keeping
best
track.
one I've ever had. That was really good.
Oh, okay.
The rest of them were just whatever.
All right.
I think that's it.
All right, that's it.
That's it.
There we go.
All right.
All right, that's
That's
it.
it.
Good job, guys.
Now time to take off the bunny suit because it's hot in here.
I can imagine.
All right.
You just eared her in the eye.
I'm sorry.
What's up, man? What are you looking for? One, two, three. It didn't like fall down your shirt, did it?
I think so. It was on my.
Pockets?
It was on this.
Oh. I have no idea. I wouldn't worry about it. You can just tell someone, I guess.
Okay, so you're going to be trying over there? Can you actually try one of
So I'm going to be the guy next, I guess. Taking a load.
Are we back? So as we transition to the next game, which is I Want to Be the Guy. There is a prize for donations given during this run, and that is for a minimum of $5 donation, you will be eligible for a Kid Perler. So any donation $5 and above during this run will be eligible to receive a Kid Perler. You are watching Awesome Games Done Quick 2014. It is a charitable speedrunning event to benefit the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Since 1985, the Prevent Cancer Foundation has invested $134 million in support of cancer prevention research, education, advocacy, and outreach programs nationwide, and have played a pivotal role in the developing a body of knowledge that is the basis for important prevention and early detection strategies. The marathon itself is being streamed on Twitch TV. Twitch is obviously the one making our streaming possible, and they also have a donation incentive for the whole marathon. For every 1,000 viewers at the stream's maximum concurrent viewership, they will donate $50. A max donation of $5,000 can be achieved if we have 100,000 concurrent viewers. We also have sponsors like the Yeti. The Yeti has a line of AGDQ t-shirts again this year, and $3 from every sale of each t-shirt goes directly to PCF. And thanks again to GameSpot for donating the cameras for use during the marathon, and thank them for the higher quality we are getting this year. Also, we have 2 language restreams. We have a German restream that can be found on twitch.tv/exe_de. And we have a French restream that can be found on twitch.tv/MrMV.
Why aren't these in the boxes?
That's a really good question. Why are they?
Ask the box and let you discuss.
Runners, put your mic back in the box when you're done, so they don't get stepped on.
Speedrunning is defined as completing games as quickly as possible through extensive planning, practice, and knowledge of game mechanics/glitches. These are primarily done in 2 different communities, Speed Demos Archive, or SDA, and SRL, Speedruns Live. Again, we're waiting to set up for the next game that we're going to stream, which is I Want to Be the Guy. There was a donation incentive for I Want to Be the Guy. It was to have Yagamoth play as Gaiden, and we went over the $1,000 threshold by $90, so thank you very much, everybody. The Prevent Cancer Foundation educates the public about how to prevent cancer and detect it early through healthy lifestyle choices and medical screenings. Through our many programs and materials, Prevent Cancer supports programs to help individuals across the country understand the value of cancer screenings and healthy lifestyles.